Before we get started, we want to take a moment to recognize that the lands we are standing on today are the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg Nation, specifically the Chippewa Tri-Council, comprised of the Chippewas of Bosley, Rama, and Georgian Island First Nations, and more recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River First Nation. We also recognize the Potawatomi of Moose Deer Point, the Mohawks of Wata and Georgian Bay, Moon River, and Barrie South Simcoe Métis Council in this region. We are all treaty people. Every year we are touched by the support we receive from the community. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge this year's sponsors. Our title sponsor, From the Ashes Recovery. Our Bunny Hop sponsor, WP Creation and Silver Smithing by Steve. Our warm-up sponsor, Jonathan Derrick with Edward Jones and Impact Healthcare. Event sponsors, DC United Roofing, Kyla Vivala, Dr. Adam McLeod Optometrist, Rooted Naturopathic Clinic, Get Moving Physio, Camplast Industries, Dr. Nicole McKenney, and 19 Marketing. Event photographer, Addie James Photography. Our hydration sponsors, Amber Sperling Social Work and Psychotherapy Services, and Jessica Portele Avon. Our media sponsor is Cool FM, Barrie 360, and Rock 95. Kilometer t-shirt and race kit sponsors, OPP Association and Jay's Sticky Buns. Thank you again to all our sponsors for your support. We'd now like to take this moment to introduce our title sponsor, Trish Uniacke from the Ashes Recovery.
Hi folks, I am Dr. Yu. I'm the face of From the Ashes Recovery. You can find us at FromTheAshesRecovery.com. We are dedicated to helping those who are in the pit of addiction and mental health problems to find their way back out into a life of recovery. You may know the story of the guy in the hole. This guy walking down the street falls in a hole, great big hole, messy hole, deep, slimy walls, really hard to get out. Actually, this guy finds it impossible. Priest walks by. Father, Father, help me, he says. I've fallen into a hole. My thoughts and prayers are with you, my son, says the priest, and keeps walking. The man in the hole, he didn't say a prayer. He said something else. Next up, a doctor walks by. Doctor, doctor, help me. I fell in the hole. Doctor writes a prescription, throws it down the hole. Guy in the hole rips it up. This is useless. What are you doing to me? Next guy walking down the street jumps in the hole too. The guy's like, what are you doing? Now we're both stuck in this slimy, awful hole. That's okay, friend, he says. I've been here before. I know the way out. This is a story that I use all the time in recovery, and it's a story that I used with Teresa and Matt when Bridget was first taken from our lives. I am Bridget's aunt. It's one that's super powerful, and it's what the spirit of Bridget's Run does. Bridget's Run offers a place for people to honor the lives of their children, to recognize that these children exist, and to pay homage to the holes that they've left in their heart. Once again, I'm so glad you're here.
We'd now like to introduce Charmaine Smith from RVH.
Hi there, I'm Charmaine Smith. I'm a Bridget's Bunnies board member, and we are here today to celebrate the 5th annual Bridget's Run held by Bridget's Bunnies. Bridget's Bunnies is a local organization that raises funds and raises awareness for pregnancy and infant loss. Our board members, along with our founders, Matt and Teresa, have been really busy this year. We've been working with our regional partners to ensure that our comfort kits are in all of our local hospitals in order to support our families going through pregnancy and infant loss. we're making sure that they're not alone. We've been busy this week. We raised the flag at Barrie City Hall to recognize Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day, and we are here October 15th at Centennial Park to ensure that we are all together as a community participating in the Bridget's Run. Let's continue to visit Bridget's Bunnies. Let's continue to raise funds. Let's continue to raise awareness. We need to be in this together and make sure that our support, our resources, and our comfort kits are everywhere they need to be. Come join us.
Thank you, Charmaine. I have a few more people to acknowledge. Bridget's Run wouldn't have been possible this year without the amazing support we had from our volunteers. Thank you to each and every one of you who have helped us behind the scenes, from planning the logistics, creating marketing materials, and securing sponsors, to handing out posters. And to all the volunteers who have helped us out today. We could not have done this without you, and we are extremely grateful for your help. Bridget's Run is all about celebrating our babies that are not with us today and being here to support those who are grieving. We all recognize and celebrate our babies differently, both in the actions we take and the emotions we express outwardly. Smiles and laughs don't mean we no longer mourn. We will never forget those who are not with us today. I hope that Bridget's Run offers a way for you to recognize, celebrate, mourn, and share your baby. Look around you. This is your community. I can almost guarantee you that you wish you didn't know any of us. I sure know I didn't know most of you too. But we have been brought together today to support one another, and our support doesn't end when you cross the finish line. This brings me to more recent events in our community. Although this is not related to pregnancy and infant loss, I think we can all agree it's affected us and is very triggering. I want to take a moment to remember the 2 police officers who left us too soon. Thank you for your service, Constable Morgan Russell and Constable Devin Northrup.
Welcome, everyone. Bridget's Run is a celebration. It is a day of joy, but it is also a day of sadness. That's just the reality of living life after loss. For many of you, this is your first Bridget's Run. For many of you, this is your first opportunity to really show up for your friends who have experienced pregnancy or infant loss. So this next message is for you, the supporters, the ones who showed up today, not for your own baby, but because you know that your presence matters today. Please keep showing up. It doesn't have to be Bridget's Run, but it has to be something. Acknowledge the important dates. October 15th at 7 p.m., Wave of Light. You can light a candle, take a picture, share it with your grieving friend or family member. When you have the privilege of watching your child grow, you get to watch their world expand and more people learn to love them. When you don't get to watch your child grow, you watch their world shrink. There are no new people to love them, no new people to get to know them. Often, all we have left are those few people who were there for that brief glimmer of time when our babies were here with us. People drift apart, relationships break down, and loved ones pass away. This leaves many parents feeling even more alone than they were in the beginning. If you're supporting someone here today, please keep showing up for them. Show up in 5 years, show up in 20 years. It doesn't have to be Bridget's Run, but again, it just has to be something. Even sharing the smallest acknowledgement that you remember, you are now a part of this community. You have the power to bring so much validation to the grieving. For the grieving parents participating today, please know that you are surrounded by the love of your peers. For this Saturday, 9 to 5, know that there are people all over the country, all over the province, who are running and walking along with you. You are not the only one remembering your baby. You are not the only one thinking about your baby and wishing that someone would acknowledge them. If that feels good for you, really lean into that feeling. If that doesn't feel good for you, do what you can to rely on those and lean on those who are around you and can support you through this. We know these last couple of years have been hard on everyone. Please know that you're not alone in that. Our own family has suffered the loss of my mother and my father. This year is an especially difficult one for us. So it just means that much more to see all of you here with us today. We really couldn't do it without all of you. We wouldn't be here without your support. And I know that all three of them are up there smiling down on us and so proud of what we're accomplishing right now. So thank you so much. Our first year as an organization saw us start with just 3 comfort kits and grow that to 20. Our very first Bridget's run, we started out with a modest goal of $5,000. We blew that out of the water, and now 5 years later, we have handed out over 800 comfort kits. We are on track to hand out around 750 comfort kits this year alone. We are growing at an incredible rate as we get more early loss kits, more miscarriage kits into doctors' offices, hospitals, emergency rooms, anywhere that we know that people are experiencing loss and touching our healthcare system. We have an on-demand system that didn't exist 5 years ago. We have partnerships with medical professionals throughout the region. So much of this has taken place in just 5 years, and that's because of you. It's because of the support of you. And so that first goal of $5,000, we're now 5 years in, and we may actually hit $60,000 this year. We're on track to potentially even exceed that. The work that we can do with that money is incredible. We hope that you stay tuned and follow us along all year, because we're going to have a lot to share as we go through. Thank you so much to everyone who has made this possible over these last 5 years, and especially this year. Your support just means the world to us. Thanks so much. All right, guys, it's time to get warmed up. Who's ready for a workout before your walk, run, or bunny hop? Let's welcome Impact Healthcare.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Ashley Barker.
I'm Dr. Megan Gibson.
And we are 2 chiropractors with Impact Healthcare's Women's Health Division. And we are going to be leading you through this warm-up today for Bridget's Bunnies. We are so excited to be here and contributing to this cause that's so important to so many families in Simcoe County. So we're going to get right into it. So the point of our warm-up today is we want to get you warmed up for the event. So we want to be increasing our body temperature and making sure we're warming up all the major muscle groups that we're going to be using for our run today.
Okay, so the first exercises we're going to go through are primarily going to warm up sort of the lower body to start with. So what we're going to do for 15 seconds to start is we're going to start with high knees. So we're going to be trying to drive our knees up toward our chest. If this is too much, you can move it down an impact and make it a really quick march. You're going to do this for 15 seconds straight. Then we're going to reverse it and we're going to get into some butt kicks. So you're going to be aiming to kick your own bum behind you. So from the side, trying to get as high up as you can. Also going to go for 15 in terms of reps. Lastly, what we're going to get into is something called a karaoke, where we're going to be warming up the sides of our legs and glutes. So we're going to be trying to go as quickly as we can, crossing behind and then reversing. Now, if you can't do this for whatever reason, too much on your hips, then we can stay down low and we can do side to side shuffles. Same thing, 15 in each direction.
All right, so next up, our next exercise is going to be a runner's lunge with some mid-back rotation. So a lot of our running mechanics, we're always moving our arms back and forth like this, putting a lot of stress in through that mid-back area. So we're going to start with bringing one leg forward. We're going to try to bring our our elbow down towards the floor as far as we can, and we're going to open up, having our eyes follow our hand and back down, and alternating the same fashion with the other side. We're going to do this 5 times per side. So the next one that we're going to be doing is a walking calf stretch. So Dr. Ashley Barker already got us nice and warm with our butt kicks and our high knees. So we're going to start to get a little bit more of a stretch in through those muscles. So we're going to be leaning forward and sweeping through with a little shuffle in between, ultimately feeling that big stretch in through that lead leg calf. Thank you, everybody. Good luck.